From childhood, most of us are taught that life rewards logic, honesty, and hard work. We grow up believing that if we think clearly, behave well, and make reasonable decisions, the world will naturally recognize our value. It is a comforting belief. It makes the world seem fair and predictable. But as we grow older, reality begins to challenge that idea in unexpected ways. Have you ever noticed how two people with similar intelligence can end up living completely different lives? One is respected, influential, and successful, while the other remains unnoticed despite being equally capable. The difference is often not intelligence. It is not even logic. More often, it is the way they are perceived by other people. Human beings do not evaluate ideas first. They evaluate the person presenting those ideas. Within seconds, they notice confidence, hesitation, certainty, fear, composure, and presence. Only after forming that impression do they begin listening to your words. This explains why brilliant people are sometimes ignored while average thinkers gain attention and influence. Their knowledge may not be greater, but their ability to project conviction changes how others receive their message. This truth can feel uncomfortable because it challenges everything we were taught about fairness. Yet, ignoring reality never changes it. Once you understand that perception comes before logic, you stop depending on knowledge alone. You begin recognizing that in the real world, how you present yourself often determines whether your logic is ever given a chance. Imagine walking into a room where nobody knows you. Before you speak a single word, people have already started forming opinions about you. It happens automatically, often within just a few seconds. Your posture, the way you walk, your facial expression, your eye contact, your voice, and even the speed of your movements become silent pieces of information. The human brain evolved to read these signals long before it learned to appreciate logical arguments. This process is rarely conscious. Most people cannot explain why someone appears trustworthy, confident, nervous, or uncertain. They simply feel it. That feeling becomes the lens through which every future interaction is interpreted. Now think about what happens when you finally begin speaking. Your ideas are no longer being judged in isolation. They are being filtered through the impression people have already created about you. The exact same sentence can produce completely different reactions depending on who says it. When spoken by someone perceived as confident, it sounds convincing. When spoken by someone perceived as unsure, it often sounds doubtful, even if the words are identical. This is why communication is much more than language. Words carry information, but your presence gives those words weight. Presence determines whether people become attentive or distracted, receptive or dismissive. Notice how experienced leaders often speak slowly, pause naturally, maintain steady eye contact, and appear comfortable with silence. These behaviors are not merely habits. They signal certainty, and certainty attracts attention. None of this means people are always correct in their judgments. First impressions can be inaccurate. Yet, they remain incredibly powerful because they influence what people choose to believe afterward. Understanding this changes the game completely. If people evaluate you before they evaluate your ideas, then developing your presence is not vanity. It becomes an essential part of making your logic visible to the world. Most people assume that if an idea is correct, it will eventually win. It sounds logical, but history and everyday life often tell a different story. An idea has no influence simply because it is true. It gains influence only when other people are willing to accept, trust, and act upon it. This is where posture becomes important. Posture is not just about standing straight, it is the invisible force behind your words. It determines whether people see confidence or hesitation, certainty or doubt, leadership or dependence. Think about a workplace meeting. One person quietly presents an excellent solution but constantly apologizes, hesitates, and second-guesses every sentence. Another person presents an ordinary idea with conviction and clarity. Surprisingly often, the second person receives more attention. Did the better idea lose because it was wrong? Usually not. It lost because it was delivered without enough conviction for others to believe in it. Human beings naturally associate confidence with competence. While the two are not the same, our brains frequently connect them. As a result, certainty often makes an idea appear stronger than uncertainty does. This creates one of the biggest misunderstandings in life. Intelligent people sometimes believe that improving their knowledge alone will solve every problem. They spend years sharpening their logic while completely ignoring the way they communicate that logic. Knowledge is like having a valuable product. Posture is the packaging that determines whether anyone is willing to look inside. If the presentation fails, the value remains hidden regardless of how exceptional the content may be. The lesson is simple. Never assume that being right is enough. Logic gives your ideas substance, but posture gives those ideas influence. Without both working together, even the strongest argument can disappear without leaving any meaningful impact. When people hear the word posture, they often think about standing straight or sitting with good body alignment. But in human interaction, posture means something much deeper. Posture is the message you communicate before you speak. It is reflected in your body language, your tone of voice, your facial expressions, your pace, your emotional control, and your ability to remain composed when the situation becomes uncomfortable. Imagine two people facing the same difficult conversation. Both know exactly what they want to say. One becomes visibly anxious, avoids eye contact, speaks too quickly, and constantly seeks approval. The other remains calm, speaks clearly, and appears comfortable even under pressure. Their knowledge is identical. Their words may even be identical. Yet the outcome is often very different because their posture sends two completely different messages. Strong posture does not mean appearing fearless. Fear is natural. Strong posture means that fear does not take control of your behavior. You continue thinking clearly even when emotions are trying to pull you in another direction. This is why emotional regulation is one of the foundations of posture. When you remain steady during criticism, disagreement, uncertainty, or conflict, people begin seeing you as someone who can handle responsibility. Notice the people you naturally respect. They are rarely the loudest person in the room. More often, they are the ones who remain composed while everyone else becomes reactive. Real posture is quiet. It does not need to prove itself through aggression, constant talking, or dramatic displays. It simply creates a feeling of stability that other people instinctively recognize. Ultimately, posture is your ability to communicate confidence without words. It tells people that you trust your own judgment, remain steady under pressure, and possess the inner stability to stand behind your decisions. Knowledge has enormous value, but only when it leads to action. By itself, knowledge changes nothing. A library contains millions of ideas, yet it never changes the world until someone acts on those ideas. This is why knowing and doing are completely different things. Most people already know they should exercise, save money, set boundaries, speak honestly, or take opportunities. The problem is rarely a lack of information. The real obstacle is courage. Courage is what allows a person to act even when the outcome is uncertain. It is the bridge between understanding something and actually doing it. Logic can tell you that asking for a promotion is reasonable. Logic can tell you that leaving a toxic relationship is necessary. Logic can tell you that starting a business has potential. But logic cannot make those decisions for you. At that moment, fear enters the picture. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of criticism, fear of making the wrong choice. Suddenly, perfect logic becomes powerless against powerful emotions. This explains why highly intelligent people sometimes remain stuck for years, while less knowledgeable people continue moving forward. The difference is not always better thinking. Often, it is simply a greater willingness to accept uncertainty. Every important decision carries incomplete information. Waiting until every doubt disappears usually means waiting forever. Life rewards movement, not perfect certainty. Courage does not remove fear. It prevents fear from becoming the decision maker. The emotion may still exist, but it no longer controls your actions or defines your future. In the end, logic tells you where the path begins, but courage is what allows you to take the first step. Without that step, even the greatest knowledge remains trapped inside the mind, producing potential instead of results. Every meaningful opportunity in life comes attached to uncertainty. There is no investment without risk, no relationship without vulnerability, and no ambition without the possibility of failure. Many people believe successful individuals simply make better decisions. In reality, they often make more decisions. They understand that progress usually comes from acting with incomplete information rather than waiting for complete certainty. Think about the moments that shape a person's life. Starting a business, changing careers, speaking up during an important meeting, moving to a new city. Every one of these decisions requires stepping into the unknown. The observer and the achiever often possess similar knowledge. The difference is that one keeps analyzing every possible outcome, while the other accepts that uncertainty can never be completely eliminated. This is why overthinking becomes a hidden trap. It creates the illusion of productivity while quietly replacing action with endless preparation. The mind feels busy, but life remains exactly where it was. Risk does not guarantee success. Some decisions will fail, some opportunities will disappoint, but every experience adds information that no amount of thinking alone can provide. Ironically, avoiding risk carries its own consequences. The opportunities never taken, the conversations never started, and the chances never explored slowly become permanent parts of a person's life story. The greatest uncertainty is often not whether a decision will succeed. It is wondering what might have happened if you had acted when the opportunity was still in front of you. The people who move furthest in life are rarely those who eliminate every risk. They are the ones who learn to make thoughtful decisions, accept uncertainty, and continue moving forward despite not knowing exactly how everything will unfold. Whether we realize it or not, human beings are constantly evaluating one another. This is not always intentional or malicious. It is simply how the social brain works. Every interaction becomes a source of information. People notice how you react under pressure, how you handle disagreement, whether you keep your word, and whether your actions match your confidence. These evaluations rarely happen only once. They continue over weeks, months, and even years. Every conversation quietly updates the image that others have formed about you. This is why reputation is never built by a single moment. It is built through repeated patterns of behavior. People begin expecting you to respond in certain ways because they have seen those patterns before. The interesting part is that these judgments influence opportunities. People decide whom to trust, whom to follow, whom to challenge, and whom to ignore based on the picture they have gradually constructed in their minds. Sometimes that picture is accurate. Sometimes it is completely wrong. But in either case, it still affects decisions, relationships, negotiations, and influence. This is why every interaction matters, not because you should perform for other people, but because consistency quietly shapes how you are understood over time. Once you recognize that people are always gathering information about you, you stop believing that logic alone determines outcomes. You begin seeing that every action, every response, and every decision contributes to the reputation that eventually speaks before you do. After everything we have discussed, one question naturally arises. If the world responds so strongly to perception and posture, does logic even matter? The answer is yes. Logic remains one of the most valuable tools we possess. Without it, decisions become emotional, impulsive, and inconsistent. Logic helps us separate reality from assumption and truth from illusion. The mistake is believing that logic alone is enough. Real life is not a courtroom where the strongest argument automatically wins. It is a social environment where ideas must first pass through human perception before they are accepted. Think of logic as the engine of a car. It provides the power to move forward, but an engine alone cannot complete the journey. It also needs steering, traction, and a driver willing to press the accelerator. In the same way, logic needs posture to create credibility, courage to overcome fear, and action to transform ideas into results. Remove any one of these, and progress becomes much harder. This is why some people spend decades collecting knowledge, yet struggle to change their own lives. Information continues to accumulate, but without confident execution, very little actually changes. The people who create the greatest impact usually combine clear thinking with decisive action. They understand reality, communicate with conviction, and remain steady when circumstances become uncertain. None of these qualities replace logic. Instead, they protect it. They give sound ideas the opportunity to survive in a world where perception often speaks before reason. The goal, then, is not to choose between logic and posture. The goal is to unite them. When clear thinking is supported by confidence, courage, and action, ideas stop remaining theories and begin shaping reality. Perhaps the biggest lesson is this: life is not only about being right. It is also about making sure your ideas have the opportunity to make a difference. Keep improving your knowledge. Keep sharpening your logic. But don't stop there. Learn to communicate clearly. Learn to stay calm under pressure. Learn to act even when certainty is impossible. The world doesn't always reward the person with the highest intelligence. More often, it rewards the person who can combine clear thinking with confidence, courage, and consistent action. Knowledge without action becomes unused potential. Courage without logic becomes recklessness. Confidence without substance becomes arrogance. Real strength comes from balancing all of them together. The moment you understand this, you stop expecting the world to work differently. Instead, you begin working with reality rather than against it. Remember these 4 ideas. Logic helps you understand reality. Posture helps people believe in you. Courage helps you act. Consistent action is what ultimately shapes your future. If this perspective made you see human behavior in a different way, take a moment to reflect on where you rely only on logic and where strengthening your presence could change your outcomes. And if you enjoy exploring psychology, philosophy, human behavior, and practical ideas for navigating life, consider subscribing to the channel. There are many more conversations like this waiting for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.